This week I'm driving the BMW X4M Competition. So BMW X4 is kind of like the coupe version of the BMW X3. So obviously a compact SUV, but cut off in the back, you know, to have more sporty kind of look. But this version is the M Competition, so it's the ultimate performance you can get in a small SUV like that at BMW. So obviously you can notice it's an X4M model by the front bumper. Really aggressive, really similar to the X5M, X6M and all that. We've got some carbon touch all around this model this week. Got some carbon fiber here, carbon fiber lip here, really nice. On the side we've got some 21 inches wheels. Massive wheels with some massive brakes also. We've got some big caliper from the M power department and also some drill desk to be able to stop this performance machine. If we step on the side also, we've got some carbon fiber mirrors here, and we've got the shape of the typical M3 model, really nice. Obviously, once again, it's a coupe, so we're really more, you know, down in the back and not square like the X3 model. Got that really nice carbon fiber spoiler here. And finally, we've got a quad exhaust wrapped with carbon fiber, really nice. To open the trunk, simply press on the logo, and we've got that kind of like hatchback trunk, I could say. Pretty decent trunks. Usually when we have a coupe model, we have to do some sacrifice on the cargo space. What I really like about this, you know, trunk, we've got that cargo shade here and another part here on the top of the rear door, I could say, and those two always cover your trunk. Really nice. And also you can put some trays and other stuff inside of this trunk. You know, pretty decent amount of space for a coupe compact SUV. Stepping in the back, obviously because it's a compact SUV, I'm not able to fit behind myself, but if you're a little bit, you know, shorter and thinner, you might be able to fit behind like a normal human. And another sacrifice you have to do with a coupe SUV, it's really the head space. You know, my head is really touching the roof, but it's no surprise, you know, my head was touching inside of the Mercedes-Benz GLE coupe, and it's a way much more bigger SUV. Now we're in a compact coupe SUV. So, you know, the space in the back and also the headroom, it's always a sacrifice you have to make when you're choosing a coupe SUV. Under the hood, we can find an inline-6 turbo 3 liters, good for 503 horsepower and 442 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to a 8-speed transmission. And also we can notice under the hood, it looks good. You know, we've got some reinforcement for the chassis and also some carbon touches right on top. Really nice, pretty powerful engine for the size of this small SUV. And we can expect some really good performance out of this SUV. 0 to 100 kilometers in about 3.3 seconds and a quarter mile in about 11.6 seconds. This is pretty fast. So we'll see on the road if this thing is the real deal. BMW X4M Competition launch control. This thing is quick. My God. Never underestimate an X4M Competition. You might be surprised. All right, on the road with the X4M Competition. This thing is a big surprise for me. A lot of power on the hood. Oh my God. This thing, you know, it was really underrated for me in my head. You know, I was not expecting anything out of this little SUV. You know, first of all, you know, when I scheduled my test drive with this X4M Competition, I was just, you know, expecting some kind of like toned down version of the big boy. But actually, it's really like a smaller SUV, but still pushed to the max, just like the big boys. This thing is quick, super quick. I was not expecting this thing to be that quick. It's quicker than most other high-performance SUV. It's quicker than a Lamborghini Urus. This thing is really quick. Quarter mile, 11.6 seconds. This is the same time as the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. This thing is really, really impressive. And you know, when you step inside of a high-performance machine like a Trackhawk, a Hellcat, a Viper, Corvette, big AMG, you respect those kind of like cars. So when you're inside, you're a little bit scared. You know, you're like, I have to respect this car. Maybe it's gonna snap. Maybe it's gonna do something weird. This is a big machine. And when I step inside of this X4M, I was not respecting the X4M, and I've got surprised a few times, especially when I turn everything off. And this thing is a high-performance machine. And let me tell you that this thing can compete with any high-performance SUV easily. All right, so the X4M, it's a high-performance machine. From my point of view, it's kind of like a M3, M4, but SUV version. So let's say you live in Canada, just like here, and you have shitty roads. So you don't really want to, you know, drive your M4 all year around. You can opt for an X4M and don't make a big sacrifice on performance. Obviously, the handling is not the same, but it's really sharp for an SUV. And you know, if you have like a cottage in the country roads and all that, you need something like that. So you know, this thing is really you want a high performance machine but still have some practicality of the SUV version. This is really what it is, and you have to, obviously, to make some sacrifice. And one of the biggest sacrifices you have to do with this X4M is the ride. It's not comfortable. It rides really rough. You know, the seats are really tight and sporty and all that. It's not like a ride in a typical SUV, I could say. Even in comfort mode and all that, the ride is hard. You're on 21 inches wheels, low profile tires. When you hit some puddles, it's pretty rough. But you know, you have to put your mind, this is a high performance machine. This is an M competition. So that's what you can expect. It's still better than a M4 or M3, you know, on a daily basis. But still, the ride is really rough. So if you're expecting something who can do everything, you know, sport driving, fuel economy, you know, a nice ride, comfortable and all that, this is not the case inside of this X4M. The X4M is really a high performance small SUV. That's what you can expect out of this X4M. You know, interior wise, it's really nice inside. They're all red, really nice seats, carbon fiber. The screen is kind of small. You know, it's kind of strange I'm saying that, but you know, these days all the screens are getting bigger and all that. So you can expect maybe a bigger screen or something fancier than that for a truck who costs more than 100,000 Canadian. Also, all the modes, the driving modes are really easy to use. So you've got your suspension, your exhaust, also your engine management and all of that, your steering wheel, etc. What's really nice about the BMW system, you can really configure as you wish, you know, your driving style, and you can also preload it in the M1 and M2 button on your steering wheel. It's pretty cool. You know, some cars, you know, when you want to have like the full aggressiveness of the engine with the full exhaust, you have to put everything in Sport Plus and you have that harsh ride. It's not the case. Here you can have everything in Sport Plus, but still have the comfort suspension. This is pretty much my setting for this week. As you know, I test all my cars in Quebec, and we have shitty roads here, so that's pretty much, you know, the setting I'm putting in, because in Sport Plus mode it's way too hard for the condition of the road here. Maybe in Florida it will be good, but not here in Quebec. Well, fuel economy wise, this thing is not the best. This week I was averaging around 17 liters per 100 kilometers. But I was driving it in Sport Plus and having fun. If you drive it normally, you can expect probably averaging 14 liters per 100 kilometers. It's not the best on fuel economy. And again, you know, you have so much performance out of this small SUV. It's so much sporty, you know, performance oriented. That's some things you can expect. And, you know, at least you don't have the fuel economy of a Trackhawk, but still have pretty similar, you know, performance. So that's a plus, I guess. All right, now price-wise, base price, it's 95,000 Canadian. And the model I'm driving this week is just under 109,000 Canadian. This one's pretty well equipped. We've got all the carbon fiber. We've got the ultimate package something. It's about 10 grand more. You know, usually M models, AMG models and all that, I'm like, it's overpriced, it's super expensive. But this week I'm kind of confused because you have so much performance out of this small SUV. You can compete against Trackhawk, even close to a Lamborghini Urus and all that. I feel like it's kind of like a bargain for the performance you get. I know the X4M is smaller than a GLE, Trackhawk, X5 and all that I've been testing before. It's a smaller SUV, so smaller price. But still, you know, it's one of those times I'm like, yeah, it's kind of worth it, you know, if you know, take the base model, the one who's 95,000. Wow, you have such a machine under your hand. It's worth it. So overall, like I said, if you're just like me, you live in Canada, you're not able to drive your sport car all year round, but you need that handling, you need those performance, and also big plus, it's undercover. You know, a lot of people this week, even if I was driving it in Sport Plus, it was popping out of the exhaust. People were turning around on the sidewalk and was looking at the X4M, and I seen like big, you know, intrigue in their eyes, and they were like, what the hell is that? Is it that thing who's making that noise? Or there's something else? Is there like a sport car anywhere? People are confused. People doesn't know this thing is a beast. It's not well known, you know, on the road. You know, if you're a street racer, you know, you can beat pretty much anyone with this thing. And nobody knows this thing is so fast. You know, I didn't knew it. You know, I'm not a big, you know, super BMW hardcore fan. So I was really surprised this week, and I love it. And it's by far one of my favorite SUV I drove so far, especially in that size. You know, I just love it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this X4M Competition. Is it worth it? You know, is it too expensive for you? It's funny looking, or it's just like a beast you didn't know about, or you're a BMW fan and you knew the X4M was something special. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and we're gonna see each other on the next review.